happened?
Hey, what's going on? Charlie here.
I'm Jean.
Thanks for tuning in to Multicasking. Today we pre-poured, Jean,
Yes.
a little bit of the Blue Note Juke Joint. This is a barrel proof. This is a Kansas store pick if you're interested. Did I say I'm Charlie? I'm Charlie. She's Jean.
Yeah, you did.
I did, okay. In case you don't know, maybe the first time watching.
Yeah, maybe.
Barrel proof, 59.2 is the ABV, 118. Carry the 2.4 is your proof. This is unfiltered, straight from Memphis. Blue Note Juke Joint. Now, we didn't do a top 5 whiskeys 2021.
You're right, we didn't.
If we did though, the normal barrel proof of Blue Note absolutely would have been in my top 5. This has a mash bill, it's 70% corn, and I forget what else is it, Jean?
21% rye.
Ooh, and then
9% malted barley.
9% malted barley.
Yes, and this was something about their 2019.
Oh yeah, it is
their
this
rick
bottle.
house.
Yes, thank you. Great memory. What happened with the rick house, Jean?
Either burnt or collapsed or something. I don't
It
remember.
collapsed, and from that collapsed rick house, millions of gallons of whiskey just went ruined. But they were able to save some barrels that didn't get touched. This is from that destroyed rick house. This is one of the barrels, Jean,
Good.
that God left untouched. It was out there. They couldn't get to it forever. So it was out there in the wind and the rain.
It must have been scared.
It probably was frightened.
Man.
Frightened, like, I want Jean.
Well,
Charlie,
if it
take
peed
care of
its
me.
barrel, it smells wonderful.
Oh, good Lord. I really get the bourbon urine on this one.
I tell ya, there's.
No, so
But
this,
I also
yeah.
get some of that. I mean, I know that there's only 21% rye, which is, I guess, considered a high rye. Is that a high rye?
It is. I wish, for me, it's 30%.
But I get some of those
It
rye
is.
notes. The bourbon notes are definitely there. The butter, the caramel. But
Brown
there's
sugar.
a lot of the rye notes coming through too.
Now, you are infinitely more apt to getting rye notes from high rye, 20% rye or lower. I'm not, but I actually get it today.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I get a touch of the spearmint, the
Some of that
anise.
sage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you also get, it's like you're making a graham cracker for a jello. You got the butter, you got the graham crackers, you got the sugar, you got the, some people put cinnamon in it, all that in here.
No, well, I would go with more of a s'mores because I get some of that chocolate and burnt marshmallow, but the graham crackers there for sure.
Marshmallow, okay, burnt marshmallow, all right, I'll
Yeah.
give you that. Now, this always comes off, I always get similar notes to this that I do from an Elijah Craig barrel proof. To me, it always similar notes. I'm gonna go in.
Maybe a little bit of a burnt caramel is in here, but you can definitely tell the bourbon is here for sure.
Hell yes.
Oh my pepper! Oh, it's got the cinnamon with a oh, and it's just it's lingering. Finish is long. A lot of flavors in here.
It burns hot for the 59.2. I just looked at it too, 59.2. But it brings the flavor with it.
It does. I mean, there's that initial sting because of the ABV, but then after it just kind of sits there on your tongue, all these other flavors, the butter and the caramel and the chocolate.
I appreciate what R&R Distillery is doing here.
Yeah.
Tons of butter, everything that's on the palate, and I get the same thing with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Everything that's on the nose is also on the palate. In this case, none of that Tennessee hug. Who's this from Memphis? I don't know, Kentucky.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but this burns gorgeously. I'm coming up with different. I'm having a hard time articulating the notes here because it's so much like its palate or like its nose.
It's like a sweet cedar wood almond.
Almond.
It's a sweet almond.
Oh, there's a. Let me do a big drop. There is a ton of rye on this. And normally you usually do the big drops. Normally I don't, but
Yeah,
in this case I am.
Because of that sting was kind of.
Yeah, for me the finish is still the ABV sting, but this last finish I got tons of rye notes. It's like I was drinking a rye.
Oh yeah, like the spearmint rye.
Yeah,
rye notes, or
and the clove,
Clove.
And as soon as I went for the water, I'm like, I'm getting those clove notes. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want more of those. So then I went ahead and did a big drop.
Okay, all right.
So the cloves what motivated
You
my
know,
big
you
drop.
don't have to explain what you're doing. Just drink the whiskey and tell the people what's happening on your tongue.
So explain it.
You actually, what you ought to do, since we're having a talk show
Is
about whiskey,
explain?
is certainly explain the
You should
things.
explain stuff.
You
Like
know?
if you like our double entendre, you can go to multicasking.com, get yourself a double entendre t-shirt for yourself. More marshmallow.
It brought out, it kind of tamed some of those notes on the nose.
For me, I'm getting more of the bacon spices now.
I'm getting more spearmint than I did.
Yep.
I got more spearmint with the water.
Yes, and a bit of barrel char now.
And it definitely tamed that sting on the tongue. It's still there, but it's not quite as bad as it was. And those caramel notes and the brown sugar and the butters and the... What's happening to you? What's going on over
It's
there?
like I'm eating a jalapeno. You're talking about I tamed the peppers. Nope, it turned my peppers up to a 12.
Well, it turned... The sting turned into more of a cinnamon for me.
Yes, you're right, cinnamon.
Than it did pepper. Yeah, it's more of like a hot cinnamon.
It's like if you're eating a big red piece of gum, but you're just drinking the cinnamon extract that they use to flavor the gum.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow, man. I do love it when a whiskey changes drastically with water for the better. Good job, R&R. Which always reminds me, every time we drink a Blue Note, I always think of like Monopoly game. Because the R&R Railroad, R&R Distillery. I always think Monopoly when we drink. Weird things.
Yeah, that is kind
Weird
of a
things,
thing.
man.
Boy.
I'm stuck between three numbers. I'm gonna give it what I'm gonna give it, Gene. Could have been a 3, went with a 2. What'd you do? 89, okay.
Yeah, I did an 89. Just because that sting is just a little bit overwhelming.
All right.
I mean, it has a lot of flavors. And I do like peppers, but this is more of a real, like a tongue sting.
It is. It has a definite sting, but normally when you get that sting in your mouth, it translates into a Kentucky hug.
Right.
This does not.
I just wish that it was just a little bit more tamer on that stingness part.
And the normal intro bottle that we like of Blue Note does that for you. But you can't go wrong. This thing survived a Rickhouse disaster
I tell you.
just to make it here.
Yeah, he's a survivor.
Who am I to
or
tell?
she, you know.
It could be a she.
Gender's unspecific.
It's non-binary whiskey, folks. What'd you pay for it, Gene?
This is the good news.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. This was $40.
Really?
This was $40.
Man.
Yeah.
This.
So, Charlie,
Wow.
do you think it's worth it?
Hell yeah. It's worth it. Oh my God. 40? Really?
Yeah, 40
for,
bucks.
For a Blue Note,
Cast strength.
Blue
Note.
barrel proof, cast strength,
Made it
whatever.
through the wilderness.
$40?
Made it through the wilderness.
Damn, we need to buy a case of this.
Somehow I made it through.
Is that Madonna?
Thank you.
Good job, Madonna.
That's what I had to add.
Sometimes you're like a Madonna.
Sometimes. Whatever.
Anything to add, Gene?
I just said that's what I had to add.
Anything else to add, Gene?
No.
Shout out to Matt and Rose from the Whiskey Nerd. Let me tell you, because they watched our tea lean review.
Okay.
And Matt is an Irishman, and he watched Irish whiskey review. But he commented on there, hey, I bet this would be make a nice, sweet old fashioned. And today we are going to make, he does a lot of cocktail recipes, and today we are going to make his recipe for an whiskey amaretto sour.
That's right. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, well, he makes it with eggs, so we're going to make it with egg white. You've never had or never seen a drink made with an egg white.
You're right. We had this discussion last night.
Yep, so we're going to do that today.
It doesn't sound particularly desirable for me, but maybe it will be, and I'm definitely going to try it.
So, yeah, it's like Rocky Balboa style, because he drinks the raw eggs.
Right.
But we're not using we're just using the egg white, not
Just
the
the
yolk.
white.
Yep, so we're going to have that today. So shout out to Matt and Rose from the Whiskey Nerd channel.
Okay.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jean, and I hope you are just as thirsty as we are.